One of the 22 Filipino seafarers on board the MV Tutor vessel is missing, according to the Department of Migrant Workers. The MV Tutor suffered missile and drone attacks by Houthi rebels in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden on June 12.
I won't disclose any details with respect to the rescue for security reasons. And we also have noted that there is one of the 22 who is missing.
According to Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Kakdak, the engine room was affected after the ship was hit.
Tinamaan yung barko kasi sa maselang bahagi, sa engine room also naapektuhan, which was flooded, and right now we are still in the process of trying to ascertain or trying to account for the one particular seafarer on that ship.
Following appeals from the Filipino crew members, Kakdak says Philippine government agencies are now working on their rescue. Without disclosing any details, Kakdak likewise notes that the vessel is still at sea and that all other Filipinos on board the vessel are safe. Before the Houthi attack on MV Tutor, the Philippine government already barred Filipino seafarers from boarding vessel passing through the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. According to the Department of Migrant Workers, manning agencies have already been required to submit a written guarantee that passenger or cruise ships with Filipino crew members will not traverse the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, which have been designated as warlike zones. Meanwhile, the Department of Foreign Affairs earlier condemned the attack on the MV Tutor in the Red Sea. DFA said that the government will take all necessary measures to secure the safety and well-being of the Filipino crew on board and ensure justice. Kuwaiti authorities say 3 people had been detained for suspected manslaughter over a building fire that killed 50 foreign workers, including 3 Filipinos. According to the Public Prosecution Service, 1 Kuwaiti and 2 foreign residents have been detained on suspicion of manslaughter through negligence of security procedures and fire regulations. The fire broke out around dawn on Wednesday, June 12 at the base of the block, housing nearly 200 workers in the Mangaf area, which is heavily populated with migrant laborers. Department of Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Kakdak reports that apart from the 3 Filipino who died, 2 more Filipinos are in critical condition, while 6 escaped unharmed. Kakdak adds that the agency is already in touch with the families of all affected Filipinos from the fire. According to the General Fire Force, the blaze was started by an electrical fault in the guard's room on the ground floor. Charges have been filed against 6 members of Apollo Quiboloy's Kingdom of Jesus Christ after their alleged attempt to attack authorities, according to Davao Police. Police Regional Office 11 Public Information Office Chief Major Catherine De La Reyes says the 6 individuals are now facing charges of obstruction of justice, illegal possession of bladed, pointed, or blunt weapons, as well as disobedience of lawful orders. Philippine National Police spokesperson Colonel Jean Fajardo earlier said the 6 KJC members attempted to attack authorities during the latest attempt to serve warrants against Quiboloy in Davao City. The KJC members were not named, but they were described to be bearing weapons such as bolo knives and guns. Authorities said about 100 police members went to properties of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ in Davao City on June 10, but the religious leader was nowhere to be found. Despite allegations sounding the PNP's failed attempt to arrest Quiboloy, the country's police force mentioned that the operation was lawful. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is urging local government units to pass an ordinance banning Philippine offshore gaming operators within their jurisdictions. Senator Gatchalian gives this advice to local chief executives after recent raids sparked speculations that local leaders may have been allowing the operations of illegal offshore gaming firms. Citing the raid at a Pogo hub in Porac Town in Pampanga on June 4, the senator says local chief executives should not make excuses and should be aware of the situations within their area. The raid in Porac Town was prompted by reports that Pogo firm Lucky South 99 Outsourcing Incorporated was being used for human trafficking. More than 190 Filipino and foreign workers were rescued from the said raid. But Porac Mayor Jaime Capil was quick to dismiss speculations that he is a protector of the offshore gaming firm. According to Gatchalian, LGUs may prohibit Pogos in their areas just like in Valenzuela City. As chairman of the Senate Committee on Ways and Means, the senator conducted a probe into the impact of offshore gaming operations in the country. His committee later recommended the permanent banning of Pogos nationwide. Commission on Elections Chairman George Erwin Garcia is recommending the publication of certificates of candidacies and certificates of nomination and acceptance on the poll body's website. In a memorandum dated June 14, 2024, addressed to the Comelec en banc, Garcia notes that posting the certificates of candidacies and certificates of nomination and acceptance on the website will promote strengthened election transparency. Garcia says the publication of COCs and CONAs was not mandated by the poll body before. According to Garcia, his recommendation could give the public easy access to COCs and CONAs and ensure that candidates will be held accountable for the pieces of information they will provide and testify in these certificates. Garcia further recommends that Comelec's Law Department and Information and Technology Department be instructed to draft guidelines for the posting of the COCs and CONAs on the website. Garcia's recommendations are subject to the approval of the Comelec en banc. Several groups are urging President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to certify the sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, or sex characteristics bill as urgent. The move is an initiative of the Equality Alliance, which is comprised of groups from the grassroots and human rights sectors, business, youth organizations, LGBTQIA+ groups, and select government units. In an open letter to the President, the group asks the administration to certify the Sogie Equality Bill as urgent, adding that their letter is to make equality as part of the President's legacy. The group further says that the bill will protect everyone, especially persons of diverse Sogie, from discrimination, bullying, and harassment. According to the Equality Alliance, the law could also offer economic gains for the country and will improve access of LGBTQIA+ persons to healthcare and education. At present, the Sogie bill in the House of Representatives has only reached plenary discussions after a year at the committee level. Meanwhile, in the Senate, it was approved by the Senate Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations and Gender Equality level but is pending at the Committee on Rules.